Hi everyone, Cecile here with Get Mental Podcast. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a good week. And if you're a parent, I hope you are doing okay and haven't lost your marbles. Yesterday was really rough for me, but today was a lot better for me and my child. So love and good vibes to all the parents out there. So, these times in our lives, and especially now too, as a parent, has brought special challenges, for us all. So T and I want to start our September campaign talking about adversity, but specifically talking about how adversity can actually be an advantage. So bear with me here for a second, okay? Because I know we're probably all tired and overwhelmed and compassion fatigue, etc., etc. But stress and adversity can actually be your edge, can actually be your advantage. And it all depends on how you cope with it and a few other factors. So first of all, I truly believe that certain levels and types of adversities, can break us in versus break us down. Okay? Think of it that way. Like, how in your life have you grown? What circumstances actually led you to grow? It wasn't because you were feeling good. It wasn't because you were, nice and comfy, right? It was probably because you were struggling. You were dealing with something hard and painful. Hi, Maria. Thanks for watching. So we don't grow, unfortunately, until we are feeling sufficiently bad enough, or there's a problem that we need to solve, or there's some stressful event that we feel the need to relieve or remove or eliminate from our lives. Okay? So that's why stress and adversity, one way to think about that is it can break us in instead of break us down. Another way to think about it too is it can prepare you for greatness. Okay? So this doesn't mean that stress and adversities are always good. Okay? Let me just get that out of the way in case you're wondering. Chronic stress is actually very, very unhealthy for us. It has physical and mental health effects and can create a lot of havoc and problems. So that's no secret. And certainly that is not what I'm advocating here, that you're only going to grow and get better if you have a lot of chronic stress. No. But there is some school of thought that says moderate amount of stress can lead to resilience and grit and become advantageous for the person. Okay, and I happen to believe that that is possible. I wouldn't be a therapist if I truly didn't believe that. And personally, I know what that's like firsthand because I've had my fair share of struggles in life. So I don't just want to lead with my personal experience. I also want to back it up with the science. That's why with Get Mental, one of our hashtags is science to the streets. I'm bringing this information to you instead of waiting for you to come to my office or waiting for you to see a therapist, okay? So we're not talking about chronic stress. And if you are experiencing chronic stress, please take care of yourself and seek the support and treatment that you need. So going back to stress and adversity, think about a time where something you thought you would never be able to overcome, you did. And think about how you felt about the fact that you overcame it. Okay? I would imagine you would be feeling pretty good about yourself, pretty relieved. Your self-confidence may have increased, right? Your sense of hopefulness may have strengthened. Your sense of goodness in the world, or if you have a faith in God, that may have been reinforced. There's a lot of amazing things that can happen when we overcome something hard and painful, okay? It can also, here's one of the upsides of it, is it can force us to prioritize what's important. It can force us to manage our time and energy, because when you're stressed and overwhelmed, you know, it kicks us into fight or flight or survival mode. And so we sometimes have no choice but to think about solutions. So for some people, it creates a lot of solutions focused thinking. Okay, so just think about COVID, for example. A lot of American companies started thinking about how can we manufacture masks? You know, there's a big problem, there's a pandemic, but what can we do to be part of the solution? So that's kind of a big example of how adversity and stress can help us. It teaches us to innovate. It forces us to collaborate. It forces us to get creative and think outside of the box, you know? So that's how another way that stress and adversity can be an advantage. And if you think about it, okay, another measure for this is the just look at like the successful people that you know, famous or not famous. I would guarantee you that they have at least one of these common denominators, which is they've all had their fair share of adversities in life. Okay, Michael Jordan, I was watching his thing on Netflix. I mean, amazing. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's really inspirational. You know, the big names out there, and, you know, just look at your circle, even probably yourself, right? Like, these adversities is usually what sharpens the knife. You know, it's what gets us energized to a certain extent, okay? And it's what helps us rise above, you know. You get to know who you are and your character and your strengths, you know, when you're going through something hard. And the big thing that I want you guys to remember here is this is not just a matter of support. This is also a matter of choice. Okay, so we all need a certain level of support to overcome, but we also must have a sense of personal responsibility for the outcomes, for the trajectory of our lives. And that's where choice comes in. Okay, it's not just going to happen to us. We have to choose it. We have to choose it every time, every day, every moment. To the extent that we can, you know. So that's kind of one of the things I really want you guys to take away. So to close, I want to share with you a study, because I'm all about studies and research. A study by a person named James Heckerman. He's an economist from the University of Chicago, and I think he even won a Nobel Prize for some of his work. But he was, you know, he's very fascinated by the concept of success. And what he found is that it's really not someone's level of IQ or a certain skill set that will give them the edge, that will, you know, that is a better predictor of success, but rather it is our personal traits, okay? Think about that. Not so much about the IQ or a particular skill set. It's our personal traits. It's our character, you know, strengths. That's how I see that. And to me, as a human who's had my own share of struggles, and as a therapist, that cannot be more true. Because the people that I see rise and thrive and transcend are the people who have that personality or character trait within them to fight, to win, to find solutions, to not be a victim, to constantly be moving forward, to choosing to be happy and grateful. Again, these are choices, who show up every day for their craft, for the work that needs to be done. That's what it takes, you guys. And so, you know, I'm pretty sure we're all going through our own struggles, okay? Pick one that feels manageable and see how you can apply what I'm saying to you guys intellectually for now, and see how you can apply this principle of how can I turn this into an advantage? How can I turn lemons into lemonade? How can I move through this challenge that's in front of me or pain that's in front of me in a way where, you know, that's going to make me feel not just happy, but proud of who I am? You know, how do you want to feel afterwards? It's not just how do I want to feel now, but how do I want to feel after the journey for this particular problem of my life. So I'm going to break that down. For example, you know, the quickest thing that comes to mind is as a parent, right? Like, I'm homeschooling my kid. It's really hard. It's really challenging, but we are getting through it. And it took us, you know, first my mindset, my attitude. I had to, you know, ground myself, keep myself in check, think about all the great things, that kind of the upside of all of this without minimizing the shitty parts of it, you know. And then I always remind myself of the end goal. Okay, I don't just, you know, I'm just using myself as an example. I don't like to get stuck in just this problem here, because I know that my life is bigger than this moment and than this problem. So, you know, I have a practice of taking a step back and kind of witnessing myself going through these things, and that comes in time, you know. For your own personal growth, if you're interested, you're gonna need like a teacher, a coach, a therapist to help you with those things. So I think about the end, meaning how do I want to feel at the end of the day, or at the end of 4 hours of teaching my child? How do I want my child to feel at the end of this? Because that vision keeps me focused, okay? If I stay focused with the intention that I want him to have a fun, positive learning experience, that intention then guides the way I move through the 4 hours. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm trying to say here, is that it's not just how do I get out of this pain or this discomfort, but how do I want to feel afterwards, and how do I want the people impacted by this problem to feel afterwards, because that's going to help you know how to move through the problem. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too abstract, but again, to recap, adversities and stress can break us in instead of break us down. Chronic stress can have a physiological and mental health impact on us. So if you are experiencing that, please, please, please get some help, get some support, get some treatment. Adversity can create self-confidence, self-control, effective time management. It can give you a sense of hope and faith in the world, you know, faith in people, faith in God every time you're overcoming something, right? And it's a choice. The way we cope is ultimately a choice. It doesn't belong outside of us. It belongs within. So at the end of the day, we can blame people, places, and things and all these circumstances, and I'm not trying to be insensitive to what's happening, but personal accountability, personal choice. There will never be a replacement for that. Okay, and the beauty is, when you really get that, you don't have to wait for the world to change for you to change. You don't have to wait for the world to be 100% non-racist for you to show up as your best self. That's the beauty of learning how to take full responsibility for your life and having a growth mindset when you are faced with stress or a painful or challenging situation. Okay? So you guys, I hope that was helpful. That's it for now. And on Thursday, T's going to talk about this. This is going to be all that we're focusing on in September. And hopefully, as always, you guys find it valuable. But for now, be well, be gentle, get mental, because we all have issues. We all have stress. We all have adversities. It's how we move through it. Bye for now.